Welcome back to Cutting Stems, the after show. We are live. We are without Kelly Keegs this week, but we got the three amigos ready to go to talk about tonight's episode. Rhea's gotten a head start on all of us and her Owens drink this evening. My grapefruit and lime ready to go here. This is my favorite cocktail with a little vodka. Delish. Owens is the best way to make your own beautiful cocktail at home without any of the juices and, herbs and all these other things you need for cocktails. Too many items. This, you just need the bottle and you need your alcohol and you're good to go. So you can get your Owens mixers on Amazon. It can be sent right to your door. If you go to the link that's right there below, amazon.com/Owens mixers, and you can get yours. How are we doing, guys? Do not put that potato chip in your mouth.
I brought snacks, ladies and gentlemen, for today's episode.
I don't want to hear you chew.
I got Taco Bell.
Oh my God. For the amount of times that you kill me when I take a bite of something into the microphone.
I won't eat it.
It's your pet peeve.
I won't eat it. I just wanted us to know.
Just wanted us to know it's next to you.
That's next to me, and I do have Taco Bell that I'm going to refrain from eating, so everyone should thank me for that because I want to eat it very bad. I'm very hungry. But
incredible restraint.
I did get a head start on my Owens mixers. Some might say I was overserved, but we're having a good time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the Bachelorette.
Guys, emotional roller coaster episode to say the least. The last half hour, I really had no idea what was going to happen. There was like 20 minutes left where it felt like the episode was over, but pretty straightforward in the beginning between the one-on-one date with Greg and the group date. Greg's one-on-one things are just going too well for them. Trent, Would you agree with me? I don't even have one comment about the one-on-one date because it just went so well. They're just they really like each other.
Right. And especially the conversation surrounding the date card was who's going to get it between Mike P and Brendan. And then it goes.
You're in the doghouse. You're in Chateau de Bow Wow tonight. Big time.
Wait, is that a soft shell food that you have?
It's a Crunchwrap Supreme.
Oh, that's soft.
Honestly, that was a joke. I felt like I had to do it. I will put it down now. But yes, I did think to myself, it's a soft shell. It won't let you close.
All right, Trent, I apologize for cutting you off. Please
that's okay. The discussion was whether Brendan or Mike P were going to get the one-on-one dates because they hadn't gotten any so far. And then it goes to the golden child, Greg. Yeah. So the things between the two of them, it's just it goes way too well. And it's probably going to end in disaster. I don't know how it could because they seem so steady, but it really does seem like it's going way too well.
Well, that's why I kind of get the vibe that Greg is going to be the one that Katie kind of has a meltdown over. I feel like in past interviews, we've seen her, I don't know what the ending is, but we've kind of seen her be like, yeah, I'm happy. And she did say that she did get her heart broken on the show on Nick Viall's podcast. So I feel like Greg kind of might be that person for her because right now everything is going so well.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And also, it's never a good sign when the Bachelorette has to say to you, hey, how are you? How you doing? You're not going to leave, right? You're not going to leave? She's so scared of Greg leaving that it makes it seem okay, deep down you think he's going to leave, which is not a good sign. It's not.
And also, I feel like when you keep asking somebody if they're going to leave, it almost puts it out there that they're going to. If you keep saying to somebody, hey, are you sure this is going right? Are you going to leave?
Yep.
Subliminally.
I also can't really get a read on Greg. I know, it's definitely going well between the two of them, but if Greg left tomorrow, I don't think he'd be that broken up about it. I think Katie is really into it. And then Greg is yeah, I'm into it. I like that I've made it this far. But if she sent him home or he sent himself home, I don't think it's going to be the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah. Greg's enthusiasm level just feels low. Like it's just the way he speaks. Like the words he is saying are like the right things, and what Katie wants to hear, falling for her, all these very nice things. It's the way he delivers them that makes it seem like he is not that interested. Like it's like, no, yeah, I'm really falling for her. Like it's going well.
And then you contrast that with Blake Moynes, who is like, I'm into it. I'm not there yet, but I'm definitely going to get there. I'm super excited to be here. Like Greg seems like he's asleep compared to that.
So Greg gets the rose, obviously. She is infatuated with him. So he's going to get a hometown. Then we have this group date where they went to, an art exhibit, this women's art that resembled, beautiful flowers, very sexual. Could have just been, giant paintings of vaginas is really what it seemed to be. And once again, Blake Moynes was put into a position to create a sexual piece of art. And I, no joke, as soon as the date started, I was like, oh my God, I hope they don't have to blur out his piece of art, like his dick sculpture. And I tweeted the picture of the dick sculpture being like, hey, Blake, like really hope they don't blur out your art. 5 seconds later, she shows his piece of art completely blurred out.
Listen, what I've realized about Blake Moynes is, number one, the question is, does this man actually fuck? Because it's all they make him seem to do.
Yeah.
It's like everything about him is so sexual. The second thing is, I don't feel bad at all about making a joke about Trent fucking his mom, because all they do is make Blake Moynes into a sexual monster, a sexual deviant on this show.
Yep, they sure do.
I tweeted at Blake that we want to see the picture. Like they blacked out the entire thing. Like, give us the inside scoop. We're friends. You've been on the podcast. Me and your mom are friendly. Like, let's just
real friendly, huh?
Let's get a look at that thing. And he said, one day, I promise, which is pretty vague. But I want to know what it was. I want that. I want to like hang that up in my apartment or something.
All the other guys' art stuff.
Haven't seen it yet.
What? No. Well, yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to write. Maybe I don't want to put it up in my apartment, but I want to see it.
The way he described it makes me think that he painted like two animals fucking. Like I feel like that would have been the route Blake Moynes would have gone.
What did he say? He said this is
primal
and something you can't do every day. Or
something. I don't know. Who knows?
Something for special occasions.
Yes, we're all just gonna have to make that up in our heads on what that was. But everybody's art like kind of really sucked. I thought Justin was a painter. It seems like maybe Justin can paint roses. And then there was a whole lot of weird shit around the rose on his. And then cut to dinner, and Justin carries out this giant canvas. Like, when did he paint this? A giant canvas of like two blue butterflies and a blue flower. And it's beautiful. It was very nice, but it's like, when did you do this? Did you do this in the house? Have you been working on this for weeks? Like, did somebody else make this for you?
That's it. He got exposed because he couldn't paint during the painting date. And then all of a sudden he's got this beautiful masterpiece that we coincidentally didn't see him do at all. And he's like, no, I can't actually paint. That dude can't paint.
The mystery of Justin's painting is the only thing I know about Justin. I don't know a single thing about him.
That's why I was very confused about the outcome of like the ending of the episode.
Yeah. Floored.
Because I was like, it's kind of how we felt about Blake in his season when he went home and Tasha was so upset. And we were like, why are you so upset about Blake Moynes? Is how I felt about Justin.
Well, the crazy thing is I agree with you, Fran. I know nothing about Justin, but I know 10 times more about Justin than I know about Brendan. This guy is just
Brendan.
Who? I tweeted at the beginning of the episode, I took a screenshot of him on the couch just sitting there, and I was like, I don't even really know who this person is. And clearly Katie didn't either. She didn't give him the one-on-one date card to the point where he's like, I haven't had a one-on-one date, and next week is hometowns. There's no way I can justify having her meet my family if we've never spent any one-on-one time together. So then he went to her room. He was like, yeah, you got to get out of here.
I think he went to Katie's room thinking like, God, I hope she just sends me home right now and not like at the rose ceremony. Like clearly I didn't like not getting the one-on-one means that he's just he had to have known there was no shot he was going to get a hometown. So he was like, look, my time here is up. I'm ready to get out of here. They didn't make it a part of the season, but Blake and Brendan, I guess, knew each other before. And obviously everyone jokes because they're both Canadian. It's like, oh, they must have known each other. But no, I think they seemed like maybe they played hockey together. Wells was doing press and told a story about how they were buddies and Blake had encouraged Brendan to sign up for the show. And then Blake showed up on his season. So, but you could tell that they have like a friendship the way like Brendan went to Blake after he was sent home and was like, buddy, I'm out of here. It's time for me to go. I don't think anyone was shocked by that. That was like 15 minutes that we all knew was coming as soon as the episode started. Because it was looking at Brendan like, who the hell is this guy?
Right. At one point, he's even like, what am I still doing?
Yeah.
He's like, get me out of this New Mexico bubble. I don't need to be here anymore. I'm not going to go any further. And I think you are right. He saved himself the embarrassment of going to a rose ceremony by just being like, I'm going to go to her room and hope that she sends me home.
Yep, exactly. Michael Michael's been saying, I've got a lot to talk to Katie about. Hometowns is a big step, all of these things. And so they had what he claimed was a great conversation, worked out for him in the long run. He got the group date rose. And Trent, you had tweeted, and we had talked about this on the podcast last week. Like, I really thought this was going to be the episode Michael was going to send himself home. Pre-hometowns, thought he was going to be out of there, but he seems incredibly committed. I don't know if something happens next week or what's going to go down, or maybe it's like, I keep forgetting that they're in a bubble. And like, I keep forgetting that hometowns, like they're not actually going
right
to people's hometowns.
I'm kind of upset because I feel like what Trent, you talked about on the podcast last week was that if Michael sends himself home, then we save him and ourselves from any heartbreak.
Yeah.
If he stays. I think Michael's a great guy, obviously, but I think that Katie has stronger connections with other people, Blake and Greg. And I don't think that Michael he's obviously high up there, but I don't think that he has the connection that the other two do. So I almost feel like it's about to be very sad.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sitting here in disbelief that Michael is still on the show. The fact that he was standing at the rose ceremony already with a rose, like prepared to go to hometowns. And you're right, Rhea. Like, I don't think they have the connection that the other guys have. So that's like, I'm surprised Michael is willing to bring whatever family he's bringing in. I don't know if he's bringing his son in or what, but like, if you're going to start bringing all that stuff in, then it has to get really serious. And it just seems like they're not on that level. Like you said, Fran, I was for sure that Michael was going home tonight on his own, and he's still just around. So
maybe his son can't be at hometowns. I don't know. We'll see how it goes down next week and what happens. But the last one-on-one date went to Mike P. And of course, they made it some like very uncomfortable physical contact like date, which is what they always do for the virgins. And they always want to exploit that in some way. So, they're hugging, they're cuddling, they're touching, and they just keep cutting back and forth to Mike P talking about how Katie reminds him of his mother. And he's talking about it incessantly for the entire time, where it was so uncomfortable. And Mike seems like a very sweet guy, and he left so gracefully. And, there was no shocker at the beginning of this episode. It was like, Brendan and Mike P, they're going home. These two are obviously not making it to hometowns. I think everybody knew that. So we're just waiting for Katie to send him home. I wish they spared us of this very long comparison to his mother.
It was just so awkward. He's the virgin. They're doing the cuddling. They put him in. They put them in like the thinnest clothing available on the market, and they're hugging and they're cuddling. Yeah, at one point, I just got so lost in like how much he was talking about his mom. I couldn't tell if he was talking about it in like a interview that wasn't happening in real time, or if he was like at one point he was like behind her, and I think he said like, well, you just remind me of your mom. And I was like, what's going on?
She was like, oh, geez.
Part of this feels like a producer job where they just cut together all the times he talked about his mom and made it seem like he talked about his mom the whole time because he's a virgin and it's classic virgin talking about your mom.
Right.
But at the same time, there is something very weird. It kind of gives me like Peter vibes. Yes, you want somebody to be so respectful to their mom and be nice to their mom and love their mom and have a great relationship with them. But when they are talking about their mom, comparing people to their mom all the time, you're like, you got mommy issues. There's major mommy issues there.
Yeah. There's a difference between being like, I love my mom, she's the best, like personality-wise, Katie reminds me of my mom, and saying like, my mom's a great cuddler, but Katie, I think, might be a better cuddler. It's like,
those words should never, ever come out of your mouth. Talking about cuddling your mom.
Oh, man.
Well,
as a grown-ass man.
He tried to be like, oh, when we were growing up, we'd watch movies and my mom would massage my head. And I was like, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Just stop talking about your mom.
Oh, man. Super tough.
Say you fucked your mom and we'll move on.
Super tough.
Sorry.
No shocker. Mike P went home. But like I said, it was he only had the nicest things to say. It was very, very sweet. And then we went to the rose ceremony, and I thought that this was a lock. Like Michael and Greg already had their roses. It was between Justin, Andrew, and Blake. I thought it was a lock. Blake, Andrew going to hometowns. Shockingly, she picks Justin over Andrew. And I was floored. Like Justin's going to hometowns? Who, like, we don't know anything about Justin. They've done nothing but talk. Like, they had that one-on-one date, but it wasn't anything. She and Andrew had all these, like, serious, in-depth conversations, and maybe we haven't seen her connection with Justin enough, and maybe they have given Andrew more airtime because they know he'll probably have a future on one of these shows in the coming up, whether it's Bachelor or Paradise or whatever. Very tough. I could not believe. I think even Justin was shocked.
He was. And Katie even said immediately after, being like, that was the one decision I've made this season where I didn't totally trust what I was doing. Then just pick Andrew. Just do that. Like, it makes way more sense to be sort of sure about Andrew, even though you're not 100% sure, than to take a flyer on Justin, who we've seen for 10 minutes this entire season. Yeah. Like, it really made no sense. And then there were 20 minutes left in the show, and we're like, what's going to happen now? Because now Justin just has a rose.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before. It's the same thing originally, how we felt about Blake is like, we missed an entire plot. Yeah. Because I don't think we've really, we saw the wedding date, right? The fake wedding date. But to me, that was all fake. That wasn't anything real.
Yeah. Maybe we just made fun of that date so hard that we didn't just pay attention to them actually liking each other.
That they actually had any connection because we were so turned out.
We were so disgusted by the date. We just completely blacked it out of our memory. And we're like, they don't even know each other.
They hate each other. What's going on? Meanwhile, they actually really like each other.
Oh, man. And Trent, like you said, there was time left on the clock. Katie's torn up about this. Andrew comes to see her the next morning just because he says, he wants a better goodbye and wants them to end on a good note and smiling and whatnot, which, great move on his part. And he leaves Katie a note and says, open this after I leave. So he leaves and Katie opens the note, and the note says, if you change your mind, ... I'll be waiting, smiley face. She breaks out in tears, goes chasing after him, jumps into his arms. Like, this could not be more dramatic, where it's like, you could tell Katie is second guessing her decision. She knows she probably fucked up. And she gives him like, well, do you want to stay? Like, if I can make that happen? And rightfully so. He's like, I'm good. Thank you. Which it's tough. This is the thing. He probably shouldn't have left the note because the note was misleading, because I do agree that he would have looked like a giant loser if he stayed, because like she already sent him home. Like, she didn't pick him. If you're not going to pick me in the rose ceremony for my own dignity, I'm going to leave. Like, I'm not going to come back.
No, but he did say in the note, I'll be waiting if you change your mind. He changes her mind in that moment. It's like, you want to come back, and he's like,
I think maybe he must have meant it in like the, hey, when you realize that you picked the wrong guy at the end of this, you can give me a call.
I guess maybe, but like, if you're gonna use the words "I'll be waiting" and then she decides that she'll let you come back, I get that he would look like kind of a loser because she didn't pick him in the moment, but she's now picking him just at a different moment, and he's still like, no. I was confused a little bit, just how he wanted her at one point, but then when she gave it to him, he was like, no.
Yeah, it was an absolute roller coaster for sure. It was like, okay, he's going to leave. She wants him to stay. He wants to stay. Oh, shit, now she wants him to stay, and now he wants to go. So it was definitely an up and down, pretty crazy. Rhea, do you want to cue up some cues?
I got a good one right away.
Okay, that's amazing. Bachelor Nation questions. Let's hear it, what everybody thinks maybe about this Andrew situation.
Well, the first question I have is, who do we think she says I love you to first out of all the men?
Gotta be Greg. It's gotta be.
Because now we have Michael, Justin, I'm just blanking
Blake and Greg. And Blake's already made it how about the absolute fake out, which I knew that they were I had a feeling they were doing it to us, but you never know. Last week, the preview for this episode was Blake being like, I don't love you. And it was like, oh, fuck. But in the date, he was like, I'm not there yet, but it's really fucking moving there quick. Like, it was like, oh, great. Okay, nice. Thanks for that total fake out. But my money's on Greg.
Same. Heavy money on Greg.
Yeah. I think it's on Greg, and I think that Greg might not reciprocate or fake it and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we think that Andrew has Bachelor potential?
Yep.
Definitely. 100%. 100%.
I mean, they almost set it up too perfectly. Like,
they did.
Normally, you sort of have a feeling that the guy's like, I just can never find love. It never works out for me. Andrew was just like, yeah, it was like the perfect Bachelor audition.
Totally. And the whole season, which makes me think that, of course, the producers and editors knew how Andrew was going to go home. And I feel like they specifically put in throughout this season a bunch of conversations that Katie and Andrew had about like real life shit and real life topics that made him come off really great and as such a good guy. And if you feel like you actually kind of got to know him, all because people are, I think, totally going to root for him for Bachelor.
Agreed.
What are your thoughts on the breakup kiss?
Oh.
Weird. I don't love a breakup kiss, but in those scenarios, like they're trying to end on this like happy note. It's like, what's one more kiss?
How about this? Just stay. If you're gonna make out and you're gonna be leaving love notes and Katie's like, I don't think you made the right decision, like just stay. Also, all right, so how about this? Let's say Andrew said,
I would plan on that one, but go ahead.
Oh, you're all right. So let's say Andrew decides that he wants to stay. Do we have 5 hometowns, or does somebody get their rose taken away?
No, I think they would have had. I think maybe they would have had 5 hometowns. It's not necessarily even. They could have maybe made it work because all they would have to do is like get someone on a plane to.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't have to plan another trip somewhere. They just need somebody from Andrew's family to come to them.
I thought Michael was going to give up his rose to Andrew. That's what I thought was going to happen at the end. I swear I thought he was going to be like, you know what? Now I'm starting to think about this whole hometown thing.
That is one thing we have never seen on this show, and that would be absolutely incredible. The 5 of them standing up there, and you see him go like this on his jacket. You know what, guys? I'm just going to – and like Katie doesn't even have a say. He's just like, you know what? I'm out. Andrew, will you accept my rose?
I could. That's why I thought that was for sure going to happen. But yeah, I don't know.
One last question.
Do you guys think that Greg's lack of emotion means that he isn't really genuine about his feelings for Katie, or that he is just not opening up fully with the circumstance of being on national TV?
I weirdly think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a situation where you get this far and you're like, oh, fuck, I actually went this far on this show. And 2, he seems a little uncomfortable, like really sharing his emotions and feelings on TV. And the way he talked on his date with Katie about how, like, you know, he was the small kid growing up, and like, it seemed like this is now where it might turn into a little bit of more of a competition for him, where he's like, I don't want to like lose or be like embarrassed by these guys. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not fair to say he's faking it if he's not like over the top expressing his emotions. He might be like a quiet guy, or he's not being on TV, like you're saying. It just comes off like he's a little, I don't know. It's hard to get a read on because he doesn't express his emotions. So you're just kind of like, my gut is that he's faking it, but he also just might not be.
Yeah. Hard to get a read on him.
Very hard.
Like, we're just going to have to wait to see what happens, because at the end, we'll be able to tell.
Definitely. Okay, let's cut some stems, shall we? Give out some roses. Yes, Maria, you may begin.
I'm going to give my rose to this contract supreme.
And thank God.
And I am cunt. Oh my God, I just said a bad word.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm cutting Rhea's stem tonight.
You should. I totally accept that. But people out there, guys, out there, if you appreciate me tonight, give me your rose on Twitter. Give me your rose. Anyways, I am going to cut the stem of the blurring of Blake's vagina shot, because I would really like to see that. I'm with Trent. I'd love to see it.
Would love to know what it is. Trent, who you got?
I hadn't thought of it pre-planned. I'm just trying to think of it right now. Oh, I'm going to cut the stem of the football field that Greg and Katie played on. It was a quick shot, but it was basically all sand. It looked horrible. It was a weird, that whole date was pretty weird with the fake rain. I didn't love the fake rain either.
I forgot about the fake rain.
I get that it's cute that it's rain, but I also would be like, this sucks. I don't want to be out in this rain now.
I'll tell you firsthand, like, it's great to watch the like movie rain makeout, like from the comfort of your own couch in your warm room. It looks romantic. To actually be in that situation, it's not romantic in real life. It's just not.
Right, because then you're just in very wet.
You're just wet.
So, right, which is awful. All right. So
in your clothes. Nothing's worse than being wet and fully clothed.
Horrible. So then I got to give a rose. I'm gonna give a rose. All right. I'm gonna give a rose to I'm gonna give my rose to the eventual Moynes hometown that we're getting next week. That should be very interesting.
Fucking cheers to Emily Moynes. I'm so excited to see her on my TV.
We love you.
That should be good.
Truly cannot wait to see her. That's a great one. Okay. I am giving my rose. I'm giving my rose to. Oh, I know what I'm giving my rose to Brendan's last ditch lip balm application.
Yes.
Before he went in to meet Katie. It was like he was, I think he thought he was being sent home, but just in case there was a kiss, he got that on real quick before Katie opened the door. It was rapid. It happened so fast. I had to rewind because I thought it was smelling salts for a second. But I thought he was like pumping himself up and was like, because he did it so quick.
Well, he did it, and he didn't even really get it on. If you go back and watch it,
he really did it.
Do the full loop. He goes.
I think he was like so nervous Katie was going to open the door. I don't know, but that was pretty funny. And I will be cutting. I got to cut Katie's decision to pick Justin over Andrew. I just don't understand that at all.
Baffling.
Completely confused. Oh, and Justin's painting. Throw that in there as well.
Sure.
I'm incredibly confused by that too.
You hate Justin. Just say it.
I don't know anything about Justin.
No, Justin is just as confused as we are.
Yeah.
He's like, what's happening?
I just want Justin to explain to me how long it took him to paint that blue butterfly painting that he pulled out of his ass. Where did that thing come from?
It is a tough look when did he say he was a painter? Was that like his job description?
No, he like paints on the side. It's like his hobby.
That sucks for him because he was probably like, we're never going to paint anything on this show. That's not going to come up. And then they're like,
this is like the 4th time that he's painted a rose. So
yeah, I would love to know how long that really beautiful painting took him. I would like the details on that for sure.
As would I. All right, guys. I think that wraps it up. We will be back for Hometowns, Men Tell All. Very interesting that there wasn't actually a Men Tell All preview. Maybe it's not done. They're not done editing it or whatever, but like the Men Tell All preview was just clips from the season that's already happened. So
do we get Hometowns next week and then Men Tell All, or is that flipped?
I'm not quite sure. It might be flipped. It might not. I really don't know. It could be 2 nights for all we know at this point. I really have no idea. They said coming up next week. So
okay.
We really flew by this season, I'll say.
We did. They went through it pretty quickly. I think, they're trying to get us all to paradise, which is what we are all very much looking forward to. So make sure for Hometowns, you guys load up on your Owens. Come on, everybody. Yeah, Rhea's drink is obviously done. So make sure you totally fill up and get your Owens mixers at Amazon.com/Owens mixers. Thank you all for watching, and we will be back next week.